All right, guys. So yeah, there's a couple different ways to approach this. We have seen lots of SPACs trading under $10, under $10.25. So the area that I'm going to try to focus on first today, before we get to some picks from Mitch, is I'm going to really focus on units. So I'm going to focus on some new units that came to market that are, trading under $10.25. So again, remember that a SPAC unit, is the first pricing. So those shares go public as units, and then 52 days later split, and you have the ability to call your broker, split your units into one common share, a portion of a warrant. So that's important because, again, if you buy these units around $10, you're getting a common share at $10 that you can later redeem at net asset value. And you also get a portion of a warrant. So we used to see warrants all trading, $1.50 or above for the most part. Now they're starting to, come down, under $1 on some of these. So, you get some downside risk here and some upside risk with that warrant and the possible movement on a deal announcement.
Hey, Chris, I had a question for you. So for those units, one thing I noticed was that certain brokerage actually charge you for splitting those units, right? How does that work, Chris? And have you heard of maybe a brokerage that has a little bit of an advantage here? It's something that I definitely think, if you're like a big trader, then maybe this doesn't affect you. The fee is probably so small that you could just get in anyways. But for us that maybe have smaller accounts that are trying to build an account, a certain fee, a commission could really kind of make the trade different. So how does that work, Chris?
Yeah, Mitch, that's a great question. We don't talk brokers a ton on this show, but, I also will point out, so units, you can't buy units on certain brokers. So, we may have a lot of people in here that use Robinhood or Webull. You can't buy SPAC units on there. You have to wait until common shares are available. As far as the big brokers go, you can, ask them. You can look in their frequently asked questions. That's what I did. So I selected Fidelity for my account that holds, the majority of my SPAC positions. And the reason why is Fidelity does not charge a fee for the SPAC unit split. So if I want to split my units, I can call up, the brokerage, and I can ask for them to split the units, and there is no fee to me. Other companies charge, anywhere from $29, I think, to $49 per split. So, if you own $200 of a SPAC and it splits, you're paying $29, over 10%, just in the fee to split those units. Again, if you're buying $1,000 worth of SPACs, probably not that big of a deal to have the $29 fee, but it is a very important part. I'm glad you brought that up, Mitch. But again, that's why I chose Fidelity. Everyone is welcome, choose your own broker based on your needs. But again, my account that has a lot of SPAC positions that I knew I was going to be buying units in, I chose Fidelity, to lower my fees going forward. And then the other question people commonly ask is, do the splits happen automatically or do I always have to call? So the answer is they don't normally split automatically. You do need to call. The exception to the rule was PSTH, the Bill Ackman Pershing Square units. Those automatically split. So whatever broker you had, if you had PSTH units, those split automatically. So that's the one that kind of, confuses people up because that one took care of it on its own. But everything else, you need to call your broker up. So then turning to these units, and again, I have a bunch jotted down here. We're going to try to get to around 10 of them, but these are all units. So I'm going to start with some newer issued units first. So up first, we have NSTC and NSTD. So these are a pair of new SPACs from Jonathan Ledecky and Joanna Coles. This is the team, SPAC Hall of Fame. They announced BarkBox and Apex deals very fast. So they have a tendency to get some of these deals done, rather quickly. BarkBox was announced when it was still in units. You only get a sixth of a warrant here. So, not as much of the upside on the warrant side of things. But this is a team that knows how to get deals done, and both of these are currently trading at $10. So you're getting these units at $10 on NSTC, NSTD, definitely on my watch list. Then we have NDAC. So NDAC is targeting cybersecurity. You look at this management team and they have Dave DeWalt from FireEye and McAfee. They have Mark Garrett from Adobe, Cisco, and Snowflake. To me, that's a great management team, right? To tackle cybersecurity, software, that industry. You also get a fifth of a warrant here. So, these are trading at 10.10 as of today. So again, I think that's a strong management team, and buying at the unit price, you're getting, that low risk down to the $10 floor. Then we have TSPQ. So this is another, new one within the past couple of days, targeting tech, healthcare, or consumer. 1/3 of a warrant included in these units. And the management team, again, jumps out to me because Solar City, QuantumScape, and Activision Blizzard listed among, the management team's leadership roles. So this is one that I've been watching, TSPQ. Then up next we have GBRG. So GBRG is an interesting one. And this one I want to highlight, for a couple reasons. So it's a rather small SPAC, right? So I think they raised less than $100 million. So, who knows what kind of deal they can get here. And it may not be, a huge private company that everyone has heard of, but they're targeting artificial intelligence, which I think is a great growth industry. And units are trading under $10. And those units, you get a warrant, but their warrants are a 2-to-1 ratio. So essentially you're getting half of a warrant, and then you also get one right. We haven't talked a lot about rights on the show. So rights are another bonus with some of these units where you can trade in the rights for common shares. So in this case, one right is the rights are 1 to 10 for common shares. So if you own 10 rights, you can redeem that for a common share after the deal is announced. So rights are similar to warrants where they provide some upside if a deal is announced, but they also are worthless if the company doesn't reach a SPAC deal. So I promise you guys more on rights in an upcoming episode, but this one having, essentially a half warrant and a right attached to it and trading under $10, I think is good value here at that level. Then we have HERA. So this is FTAC Hera from Betsy Cohen. She's one of the, most well-known names in the SPAC world in fintech. You get 1/4 of a warrant here. This one, again, trading under $10, which surprises me because, Betsy Cohen, normally her new SPACs, trade at a premium, but again, we're just not there as a market anymore. So I see good value here, with HERA. And then we have PSAC. This is Property Solutions, the same team that did Faraday Fuel. We had them on our show. So you get 1/3 warrant here. I like the management team, and again, trading under that level that we have talked about. So definitely worth, keeping on your watch list at the current price. Then we have ISOS. So ISIS Acquisition, 1/3 of a warrant. This one's new, and it did immediately jump out on the management team names. But if you look at what they've done, you have George Barrios from WWE and Jacqueline Hernandez from Telemundo. So, they're targeting media, and, to me, those are strong media brands. So I'm going to keep an eye out on this one, again, with that 1/3 of a warrant being included as well. Then you have PGRWU, Progress Acquisition. I need to do some more digging on this one, but, targeting media, and that management team has been, involved with Dish Network, Sirius XM Satellite, AMC Networks, and FanDuel. So, those are the newer SPAC units that I want to highlight. And then a couple more that I personally own that are still trading as units, but they're a couple weeks old, but I want to highlight them once again because I think it's important. So we have PUCKU. This is Goal Acquisitions Corp. So the management team is Harvey Schiller. He's the former U.S. Olympic Committee chairman. Also worked for the Brooklyn Nets, the New York Yankees. And then we have John Miller. He's the former chairman and CEO of AOL. And then we also have Michael Jordan's former agent attached to this SPAC, which I think can create some possible synergies down the road with Michael Jordan. And here with PUCKU, you get a full warrant. So, keep an eye out on that one. And then we have SLAMU, which is the Alex Rodriguez SPAC. So you get 1/4 of a warrant. And then also remember that the QuantumScape CEO is attached to SLAMU. So I think that's a strong management team. We have LEGO. No, not those building bricks, but the ticker is LEGO. Again, targeting renewables and energy. You also get a full warrant with this name. And then lastly, for those units that I want to highlight, you have FSNB targeting fintech. This is Fusion, the same team behind FUSE that did a deal for Moneylion. You get 1/3 of a warrant here. So again, a team that's accomplished and has gotten a deal, at least announced.